Okay, this is Mark Dozier, and I am going to lead you through my WebQuest, which is titled Making a Difference. I came on this idea because I was looking for something that was not only authentic and would give them a chance to uh, use web materials for research, but also in giving them a product at the end, it would be something that would be beneficial and something that would be rewarding. Uh, so not just a pure learning experience, but also a life learning experience. So I started them with the example of William Kamkwamba, who built a windmill, and he did this basically on his own to produce electricity for his house, and then expanded it to provide irrigation for his farm, and then is going to expand that further to provide electricity and irrigation for his whole community. So a good example of one person making a difference. And then I also provided them a link for the TED Teen Talk with Natalie Warney, who joined with Invisible Children and raised awareness. She even got Oprah to do a thing on her show, and really some good social advocacy there. So another way to make a difference. So these were just intended to motivate the learners before they get into their task, which is going to have three basic parts: identify a need, research ways to make a difference, and then decide on one of those ways and make an action plan, a presentation. And in the process for that, they're going to need to, of course, brainstorm and identify their problem or their issue that they want to address in their school, neighborhood, community. I leave that up to them. And then step two, this is kind of the traditional WebQuest research portion where they have to figure out different ways to get involved. And instead of having them brainstorm this, because they did the brainstorming on finding a problem, I gave them some examples of some of the really big volunteer organizations, United We Serve, EPA, and then also these references for just hundreds of different ways that they can do something positive, from a bake sale or a lemonade stand or a car wash or something like that to raise funds, to what have you. They can decide as a team which ones they like, and of course discuss them pros and cons and decide what they want to pursue. And then finally they're going to be creating their proposal, and they'll be giving their presentation to the class. And of course teachers can modify this if they want to make it bigger, right, to present to the school or present to a board of community leaders or something like that. So I have a video here for their PowerPoint presentation, PowerPoint for Beginners, that I pulled off YouTube. This is a very simple video tutorial, but I also included Microsoft's tutorial. It's not video, it's a slide tutorial, but it's good scaffolding. It's really simple, easy to follow. In the evaluation portion, I'll tell you, this was the hardest part for me. Probably because I've never done this kind of thing before. Actually, I've never seen a rubric before this class. But I don't know what that says about my education or my professional background, but this was the first time. So it was really difficult for me to come up with these different categories: critical thinking, creativity, presentation. Of course, the group cooperation, that was an obvious one. But I felt like with the Quest Garden, it was really limited by space. These boxes are so small, and the type just gets tiny, and I didn't feel like I had a lot of room to elaborate as much as I wanted to. Once I really started going, there were a lot of things I realized that I would be looking for. So anyway, I feel like this is the weakest portion of my WebQuest, and if any criticism or positive criticism that you could give, I really welcome, because it can only help me in the future. Finally, the conclusion kind of brings it all together, summed up really with this phrase: be the change you wish to see in the world. That was Gandhi. So then on our teacher page, we have the reasoning behind using this WebQuest for Make a Difference. We always say it's better to give than receive, so lead by example. It also instills values of responsibility, compassion, empathy. Young people often take things for granted, and this is one way that they can kind of see beyond that. Plus, I provided a few links for the teachers to share with parents, because I think parental involvement is really important. Standards, I just went ahead and linked the NETS standards for students and for teachers. Right, that's kind of self-explanatory. For the process, I point out that the PowerPoint is not the key component of the WebQuest. That's just a tool. So if educators don't want to use that, they could adjust that to suit their own needs or the needs of their classroom. And this WebQuest might be a little longer. It's not a one-day thing, but I feel like it will be time well spent. For our resources, I listed Learning to Give. This is where I got the Plan to Act handout, and they actually have 4 lessons. It's 8. There's 2 lessons of 45 minutes each for each part. And there's a cost-benefit analysis lesson, opportunity cost, which I feel like is also really useful, really helpful. And some other sites here where they have lesson plans, and then a couple links for finding other groups where you can volunteer. And then finally, in my credits, I just wanted to say thank you to Professor Marcy for all of the preparation she's done to get us prepared to do this kind of WebQuest. So I feel really good about it. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.